We are out here this morning and we're trying something new. We are starting at Pioneer at the north end. We're about 1.2 miles, I think, to the north terminus, but we're gonna start here. I've never been in this section right here, but there's tons of parking, and we're gonna head off onto the Pioneer Trail and head south towards Ellis Fork, and I think it's gonna be close to 7 miles. So this is just a one-way. We've got a car parked over at Ellis Fork, so we're getting ready to start. It's like 8:39 in the morning, and it is a beautiful sunny day. So I will take you along with us. Here's what the beginning looks like. And I've never been to this section, so as much as I've been out here, it's crazy to think that I haven't seen this part yet. So from the parking lot, this is like a 0.1. And this section I have seen before and been on. And by the way, I've already hit like 3 spider webs. But so if we headed this way on the Blue Blaze, that would take us to Terminus Branch, which is the North Fork, and 1.7, and that's where you have the water crossing. And then this right here is a crosscut, and that takes you back to the Dunn's Farm Trailhead, and that's 2.7 from here. We are gonna head this way on the Pioneer Trail, and to get to the Dunn's Farm Trail Junction is 2.9 miles. So that's the way we're gonna be heading, and we're gonna go past that all the way to Ellis Fork. We have been seeing lots of spider webs, so I have my web stick out in front of me. Hopefully it'll get to the webs before the webs get to me. You'll see these along the Pioneer Trail every once in a while, where they have a bench and then a nice little overview of the water. I love this. This is a new sign, Springer Mountain, Georgia, 383 miles from here. That has not been out here yet, but this is Hatcher Overlook. Hatcher's a very common name here in Middleburg. We just came to the creek access for this water, for this campsite. You head down that way, down to the creek. Campsite is right up here, and we'll go in there and take a look at that when we get there. It's really, I mean, it's literally an eye sight. It's right there. Yeah. And then the water source is right there. So really pretty close. Yeah, it's beautiful. This is a great campsite right here too. It's really big. Neighbor camp zone. We'll go in here and take a look at it. So this is a camp zone. We're talking about doing a 2-night here. And this is the second campsite that we would stay at on that trip. The first one between Knight's Landing and Ellis Fork. There's a beautiful campsite right on the water. It's got, all of them have a fire ring, a picnic table. This is the campsite here. But all of them ask you to pack out your trash, which you should do. Leave no trace.
Well, you can bring the dog.
There you have it. Yeah, we haven't gone very far, and we have another lookout right here with a bench. And usually this water is much higher. You wouldn't see those logs right there. And the water is just so low.
Look at. Oh wow.
And they've got these little hooks right here that I think are great for your backpacks. And this is called the Harris Overlook. And we have 0.7 to the Pioneer Forest. So we haven't even really gone a half a mile since. Birds are singing today. These little benches they made. They've done some great trail maintenance around here. There's a lot of elevation up and down here for Florida and the Pioneer Trail. So this right here, all this work right here is new. You can take the high road over here, which is the upper loop, Mosley, another big Middleburg name, or you can go down the Nolan lower loop, which I'd like to do because then I have a climb. So that one's a little bit of a climb, but I think there's a little bit more of an ascent going this way. So, but when it rains a lot, we have a lot of storms, this is all flooded out. Here's a little bit of the lower elevation trail. Here we're coming right up to the water's edge. So normally the water's at least up to those tree roots right there. And yeah, the water's not even really moving here. Look at that. There are tributaries that go into this water that is clear. That's where I get my water. I did bring my water filter because I only brought one bottle with me. Here's the ascent from the lower loop. They have really done a lot of work here. Back to Mosley's upper loop. So here we come to our next bypass. You can go to the right and do the high water bypass, or you can go to the left and go down by the turpentine stump, which is the way that I'm going. I'll show you the turpentine stump. And I'll walk you out to the stump. There we go. Old growth turpentine stump. Oh, now the water's flowing right here. Ooh, sorry. Just messed up a spider web. That is a part of the Black Creek. And here is the turpentine stump. This is a climb out of the area where the stump was. Here's our third bypass. And this one is called Carter's View High Water Bypass. So you can go that way. And this way, get a little work on the legs. You have to get your elevation where you can when you're in Florida. Here's a little side trail you can take to the water. Carter's Creek View. You can go down there. This climb is not nearly as steep as the other ones were. Here comes another overview of the little bench. I think this is the third one we've seen. We've only gone like 1.87 miles. Look at this sign. Look what Don just found. You're just a snoozing. Not even paying any attention to us. Thank goodness.
Wait.
That is the first snake I've seen on the trail in quite some time. But he was just napping out there. Didn't pay any attention to us really. I think he poked his head up a couple times and that was it. So it's kind of cool. Here's a little side trail to some running water that goes into the creek that's clear. We go to the right, as you can tell by the blaze, but this is a good place to get some clean water if you need to refilter, but always filter your water no matter what. One time I tried coming out here and there was a water moccasin in the path and he wasn't willing to move, so I opted to be the one. I don't know if you guys can see that water down there. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. It's flowing pretty good. I think right over here is a good spot to get water. Yeah. So here's a good little place if you need to get water. Look at how clear that is. That would be my water source if I needed some. And I did bring my water filter, so if I had to, this is where I'd get it from. We are just about finished with this section. We're getting ready to cross over the bridge that takes us to the hub, which I call it. There's a Pioneer Trail right here, bridge. So for me, the hub is like a wheel hub. There's a bunch of different directions you can go. So we're coming out of the Pioneer Trail. And when we start back up, we're going to take a little break here at the picnic table. But that will take you right there back to the Dunn's Farm trailhead. That section right there will take you on the Dunn's Farm Trail. That'll take you to the campsite. And then this one right here is going to be the ones we're going to do. And it is a combined trail with the pink and the blue. So Dunn's Farm and the Pioneer Trail will share that until we get back onto the blue by itself and continue on to Ellis Fork. So we'll head that way after we take a little break. We have gone 2.95 and our pace is like a 2.3. So not a fast pace, but I'm okay with that because it's just been a nice, easy walk. And I'm sweating crazy. It's super humid and hot out. So I'm gonna drink up some water, have a snack, and get ready to finish the rest of this. Doing all right? This is what I usually hike with when I'm on the Pioneer Trail. This is all the water I've drank so far, but my goal is to finish this before I get to Prescott Falls, and then I'm going to filter my water. So I have these little snacks right here. I'm not sure if I'm gonna eat those or not. And then I have a couple meat sticks and this. So I'm not sure. I know I'm gonna have the meat sticks, and then after that, I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm getting back on the trail after a nice little break. And now we're on a shared trail. Oh, we have 3.4 to get to Ellis Fork. So not quite halfway. And the pink trail is Dunn's Farm and the blue trail is Pioneer. Coming to the first overlook, Duck Pond Falls. Our second overlook. Schoolhouse Falls. Here we are at Prescott Falls. This is where I'm going to get my water supply. So this has got a pretty good water flow. I have a 1 liter bag here. So we are still on the shared trail, but I think that's going to be splitting pretty soon. The Dunn's Farm Trail used to head up that way, but they extended it over this water crossing, which looks dry right now. And then once you get up here, this is the Borden branch. You can see where it's got both the Pioneer and the Dunn Trail shared here. But once we get up here, the Dunn's Farm will head this way, and then the Pioneer will go this way. And so that's where the two will split. So from here on out, we will be on the Blue Trail all the way back to the car at Ellis Fork. Mule Landing Camp Zone is right here. And so this is the campground or campsite that is in between Dunn's Farm and Ellis Fork. So like I said before, there's a campsite between each section. So there was one, the neighbor campsite, and then in Dunn's Farm there was a campsite on the pink trail, but we took the pink and blue trail, so we didn't see it. And then this one right here is on this section of the Pioneer Trail. It's right by the water. And there's a bench right here if you want to enjoy the scenery. This is called the Osteen Overlook. And there's another area right down here where you can take some steps down to the water to get whatever water you need, whether it's to put out the fire or to cook with, or get your drinking water. A little further up here, you have a side trail up to the cemetery. Here's that side trail right here to Dunn Cemetery. It's point 1, heads up that way. They take really good care of that. And then we are headed to the Many Steeps walkway, which is a bridge. And we got another mile to get to there. And we got a couple hikers coming this way, so turn this off for now. There's creek access right there. Heads down that way. Point 2. We're going to be heading up that direction to continue on the Pioneer Trail. This is the Mule Landing crossing. I wanted to tell you guys I have a couple upcoming trips I'm super excited about. I leave for Las Vegas pretty soon, and while I'm there, I'm going to see the Hoover Dam and the Grand Canyon. And I'm super excited about that because I haven't seen the Grand Canyon before. I have seen Hoover Dam. But then shortly after that, I'll be heading to West Virginia to do a 3-day backpacking trip with Strider. And I'm hoping that the colors on the leaves will still be bright and beautiful, because down here in Florida, I don't get to see a lot of that. But I will share that with you guys. And if you would like to, or if you wouldn't mind hitting the like button and the subscribe button if you haven't already. I just try to share some content and hopefully inspire other people to get out and move their bodies and enjoy nature. So if if you've been on my channel before, you've heard me say this many, many times before, but my goal is to stay as young as I can for as long as I can. And I am in the senior citizen category. So I'm 64, and another half a year or so, I will be qualifying for Medicare, which blows my mind. But it just goes to show you, you know, it doesn't make any difference what your age is. And you just start where you're at, regardless of your fitness level. And just get out here and move your bodies. So remember, like and subscribe, please. That will help other people maybe find this channel. I'm not out here to make any money or anything, but I would love to be able to inspire other people to get out here and move their bodies and stay as healthy as I can for as long as I can, or get healthier than they are right now. So hope you're having a great day, and we'll catch you later. This is one of the very few switchbacks on this whole trail. We're heading down to the Paget Bridge, and then we'll have to make a climb up to where the Sawyer Trail and the Pioneer Trail meet up. So I'll show you that when we get there. Here we go again, over the bridge. There's some water down there. And we have this climb coming up out of this switchback. So there's Pioneer Trail, Paget Branch, and Many Seeps Walkway. Built in 2019. Just climbed up from there. There's information about the Pioneer Trail. We are getting very close to the end of this trip today, but we are right by the Keebler tree, which I love. It's called Keebler Corner. It's got a bench, the Keebler door, and a little sign. We have 0.4 to get to our destination for the day. We're starting to get close to the water's edge again, and probably have about another 2.2 to go. I've taken down quite a few spiderwebs on this trail. Okay, here's that sign, leave only footprints. You know what that means. We are almost done. Here is the end of this portion of the trail. If you continue across the street, you would head to Knight's Landing, which would take 2.5 miles, and then another 2.5 miles past that would take you to Indian Ford. And there is the trail right there. So, but we are headed that way to the car. Finishing up. We just got to the road, just finished this leg of the trail, and are walking back to one of the cars. Then we'll drive down to the other end where we left mine, and we will be done with this for the day. Right now it says that we're at 6.33 on my watch, but my All Trail says that we've walked longer than that. So I thought it would be closer to 7 miles, but it doesn't seem that that's the case. But it was nice. It was super hot and humid out. I was sweating a lot. I hope you enjoyed the trail. That's the first time that I've gone from north to south, and that's the first time that I've parked at that north terminus, which is like 1.7 from the end of the northern part of the trail. So I hope you guys liked this this hike that we went on, and I'll see you in Vegas, or the Grand Canyon, right? Bye. Peace out.